Okay, so we're done with we're hung up on the oil pump. Got to do it over again. And so I'm revisiting the main bearing caps. We can't do this one because that's the oil, or sorry, the front they don't show a picture of. Anyway, this one's the rear main cap, and it's got these seals that we're supposed to put in. And I covered that earlier in another video, but that's where we're headed next, is to go back and revisit this. And then reading here, it says like fit the rear oil seal to the crankshaft with the lip facing blah blah, lower the crank onto the block. Now, looking at the picture here, I don't see that they have the seal here, but anyway, looking at what we got for parts, you know, here's the rear seal. I went ahead and put it in already, but that's where we need to seal, is down the sides here. And this is the fabric gasket that came to fit here, and it fits easily over the crank, so I don't see why they're hung up on putting the seal in. And then the next thing that would seal this closed to keep it from leaking is this guy. That's what bolts onto this gasket here, and you can see it's got this seal right there, and that's this big guy, and that goes in there. So I have two of these. Oh, ran into the tractor. Oh. So I have two of these because I got two blocks, right? And I'm just taking the one that's cleaner, and then it looked like this one would be easier to get out. I did this already. Because I can pound on this lip. This one doesn't have it, so I'd have to get in here. But anyway, took the cleaner one, and all I'm doing is just got the vise so that it's just covering that lip, and we're just going in here, banging out the old seal. So I didn't want you to miss out on this, because, you know, it's part of the process. There we go. Is that coming out? A little further, a little further. Maybe we'll go over here. Oh, come on. Almost got it. Yeah. Okay. So I can clean this up, and then we're ready to put that new guy in here. Okay, so I got that seal out. You saw that. And this is the new guy. And you can see the lip that they want us to have face the crank. So this is going to go in this way and then on that way. And I've screwed enough up today, so I'm going to go ahead and ask the machine shop to press that in for me. Before I do that, I'm going to just run the wire wheel on this gasket surface and clean it up. So we'll do that until the video runs out of steam. looking pretty good. Alright, I can't believe this video is still going, but yeah, we'll just send that to the machine shop too. Okay. And go back to do something else. Turn off the video. Okay, now we're revisiting the rear main cap here. Let's go ahead and get this fabric gasket out of there. It's kind of tricky to get in without boogering up. There we go. Put him back in our kit. Now, get this little crack here down these sides, and those go down the sides of the main bearing cap. And right here, so we want to seal those. And the old school way is to try to jam this down in there, and I just don't see it happening. So I'm in love with these instructions that came with the gasket kit. And they say take the RTB and on your nozzle put a washer here, and then you can rest that washer against the surface and squirt down in there. Another trick that it says is to put in the main bearing cap itself from the inside of this guy as it runs down to the outside here, so that when you're squeezing the RTV, there's no air pockets, and it will get all the way out and then come out the little score that you put in this thing. So I hate to modify this, but I think that's a good technique and guarantee no air pockets. So I'm liking it. I think that's what I'm going to do. So that's what we're going to do next, is ruin this guy. Let's let me take it off and figure out how we're going to do that. Since I already torqued these down, that won't hurt anything, I don't think, in this engine. I think I just take it back off and do it again. So that's what we'll do next. Okay, looking at my RTV selection, you know, sometimes I'll buy everything. So looking at these, we got high temp, maximum torque, oil resistant. I was split between the max torque but once I saw the oil resistant, we were making an oil seal, so I think that's what we're going with. Okay. And I went over there and kind of was seeing what to do about the washer thing. Just jam this in here and it goes right to there on that little slot. So I think we'll be fine if I just cut it right there. And that's going to be our opening. Let's spread her open a little bit. Ream it out. Okay. Now, instead of machining this thing, or touching or screwing with this cap, you know, what it was suggesting was filing a passage so that air gaps don't get in here. Suggesting filing a passage down at the bottom so that, you know, gasket could squirt out. But, you know, this thing fits in there so nice. And why don't we just use some old carb cleaner tubes? I mean, we've got flexible gasket maker here, so why not just have it, let it flex, you know? Just start squirting down the hole, and then, you know, once we tighten her up. So that's what I'm gonna try. I would love it if I'd start seeing it. Nope. Not yet. Okay. Start rolling her up. Squeeze. There we go. She's coming out the bottom there. harder than I thought. But okay, I believe that worked. You can see I squeezed it in there, and it's coming out the bottom and out the sides here even, which is nice. Or is that the piece of... Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and tighten her up. I want to get this so I can see it. We're going to 90. Okay, that's 84, 88. It says 85 to 90, so let's, how do you clear it? Does it know we're going again? Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay, we gotta chase this thing around. Up. Yeah, come on. Okay. That should do it. See our squeezages. Okay, and then we can just clean this up. That'll be, anybody can hear that air pocket, huh? We'll be working on this when we get to the oil pan gasket. And we can just clean her up, scrape it off and do that oil pan gasket. Then we'll clean this up when we get to the seal in the back. Okay, that would be it. Alright, well, we're going to go a third time on this, tightening these, because when I tightened that up last time, I got to cleaning the gasket sealer off, and I noticed there was a noticeable where it wasn't flush. Evidently there's a little bit of slop here, and our seal is going to go right across this here. So that I want to be reasonably flat so that the seal has a chance of making it. So I took the little taparino here and tip tap, tip tap, tip tap, tip tap, tip tap, tip tap, got it just more flush. And we'll torque it again. Gotta have it right, you know. Yet again, on that side's Newton meters, this side's foot pounds. And I think I'm trusting the digital gauge more than my old. There's the 90, so I was putting it up to like 95 and it still wasn't, so I'm going 97. I think that's kind of what I remember doing before. Oops. I don't know what we did there. Let's get it kind of toward us here. So we can see what we're doing. Up. Turn it off. Turn it on. What's trace mean? Peak? How about that? P-top. $86. Boy. 90, okay. Okay, here we go again. Get her so we can see her. And the block turning 90, okay. 3 times. Hopefully that did it. Stayed flush-ish. Some new squeezage from the sealer. Okay, that's looking better. I like it. Okay. I think we're going to go ahead and try to plasti-guage the engine. And this will check the clearance after machining everything, it'll just check and verify that the clearance is good. Not too much, not too little. So what you do is take one of these guys and then go over to the engine. This is our gauge. And we're going to do it on this front bearing cap here. So I wiped the oil free. Dang it. I'll rotate it a little bit. There we go. And we just want to lay that right there. And we're going to smash it. So we're going to take our bearing cap, which is also wiped free of grease, and we're going to put it on there. And we're just going to use the oil pump for temporary to do this, because the others are tightened down. So why not? This one's in the front, easy to get at. Okay, so now we got to torque these and then measure after it's smashed. Okay, so let's got to do the torque wrench again. Hopefully I can do this in the 3-minute length of the video limit. Meta, if you're listening, please make it at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Why are we limiting it so much? Not sure. Let's go to 97 again on this guy. Wake this guy up. Whoops, I need the socket. Dang it. Okay. Get her close. Okay. Get her close. I don't think I'll make the time limit, but I'll start another one and then okay. There's the 85. Let's go to that 90. There's that 90. Okay. So we can see it. And there's our 90. Okay. Okay, at the end of the last video, you saw me torquing it. Now we're gonna crack her loose. Get that one? Okay. Okay. And this cap itself is like a trick to get off. Lifting and tapping here. Yeah, okay, there we got movement. Come on. Come on, there we go. So now, I need my glasses. But what we're going to do is the plasti-guage is smashed and it's real thin, real teeny tiny. It looks like the smallest gap there, if that. Well, I need my glasses, but that's the idea, is you're checking tolerances and clearances and just verifying things, you know, verifying that the machining was done on, you know, because you got oversized bearings, which are supposed to match how well or how much the crank has been ground down, which is 20 thousandths of an inch, and both of those things have to be right to give the proper clearance for oil between the two, just enough. So that's the idea. I need to get my glasses again, but you know, it's something somewhere in this tiny, smallest. Okay, that's it. I gotta get glasses. Oh, there's glasses over here. What does it look like? Oh. And then you can can see where the valley is right there in the middle. And boy, she's the smallest one. And it said measure across, you know, to make sure you don't have a taper. And it looks pretty uniform. But it's like this 0.0003. It is the smallest one here. So when I go to the machine shop, I'll put this in the box to remind me, and then we'll run that by Glenn at the machine shop and make sure that we've got everything correct. Okay, and then what we do is we clean this off, and I'll just put the cap back on there. Okay, end of video. Okay, picking back up. Now we're on hold with the oil pump. We've got the rear cap sealed, which is feeling good. I was worried about that one. So what we're going to do is fit the pistons to the rods. So these pins have to go right through there. And then once that's done, we're going to install them 1, 2, 3, 4, matching the cylinder numbers. And then we're going to put the ring compressor over the rings. Needs a little open up a little more. There we go. Fit it over there, clamp her down, and then insert both the rod once it's on the bottom and the piston and fit it into the cylinders. So that's the next step. So we'll slide this back. And which way do we think it goes, huh? Does it matter? I don't think so. Okay, that went smooth. And then we need a needle nose. I will get one, but we'll keep on trucking here. You have one here? No. Alright, let's go ahead. It doesn't matter, it's going to be rotated anyway. Okay, these are going smooth as butter. And check that play. There's just, you know, it fits nice, and there's just really not much play to speak of. No clicking, no moving around. That's what we want. Nice tight fit. Okay. You know, I should put assembly lube in each one of these. Let's back the truck up. You know, I don't realize everything sometimes right away. But hopefully I don't let it get too far and screw things up. So, back up the truck. We don't want to have these things running dry when we first start up the motor. So, give me them back, please. And we're going to run out of video. Okay, we're back. So, just want to put a little bit of this in there. Each one of these. This is molybdenum grease. She's just gonna give us some momentary lubrication when we first start up, before the oil pump really has a chance to get pumping all through all the galleys, and this will keep it from wrecking right as soon as we start it. Just a little bit of something, so it's not metal on metal. Okay, let's try it again. There we go. This one I have to go all the way out. Yep. There we go. Should have gotten the needle nose when the video ran out, but I didn't. So Let's go find one. I suppose this will do. Okay. And we're just going to fit that in there. Look how easy that is. That's nice. Boy, you never know when it comes to clips and shit, how much of a fight you're in for. I think there was one. Oh, no. Yep. I think there was one on the transmission of the tractor. I rebuilt that too, and boy, I remember fighting one. That was a big job. Okay, so there we're fitted. And then we also want to go 180 degrees on the gaps in the pistons. So we're going to set those up. Oops. Gotta play with it. There. And then there, and then there. Like that. And then when we get, I think it said use engine oil to just lubricate this and the cylinders and this guy. Okay, so I'm going to grab the oil pan, cleaned it up a little bit, and then dump some oil in here. It said apply copious amounts, so put that on the rings, the sleeve here, and the cylinder that we're going to fit to. We just put this in there, tighten her down, pressing those rings. Okay, now I think it has to be pretty tight. That's as tight as the ratchet will let me get. And we're going to fit this in. I don't know if it matters which way this is facing. I mean, it might have. But that's not the kind of rebuild we're doing, I guess, because I didn't mark things. But I turned the crank so that this is farthest. Oops, can't see it. This is down far. So we're not running into it. And a lot of time you have studs coming out of here. And you have to worry about protecting the journal down there. We don't have that situation, so we're going to just place it here. And then we're going to just use our dead blow, probably just tap it in. Nice and easy. And I don't have any of that ready, of course. And this is number 1, so it goes over here. Dang it! Okay, so I got to lube this guy up. Put the number 1 over here, get something to tap on this with. Just maybe a piece of wood. And okay, come back to that. Okay, here we are. Now on the number 1 cylinder, and I got it lubed up. Rings are compressed, and here we go. Hopefully we get right in. Ha! Hey, she went. That's the way that's supposed to go. So then you just repeat 2, 3, 4, and we're golden. So let's do that. And I'll just let the video run out while I'm doing it. Okay. And then we'll check the final check. There, and there. Lots of lubrication. Okay. Get this guy lubed up a little bit again. There we go. Oops. Tight as she goes. Yeah, okay. Hopefully that's not too much. Number 2. Oop, gotta lubricate the cylinder. Okay. Where's the hammer? Hopefully it goes good again. Oh, hey, tapping. Something's tapping. Stop, stop, stop. Okay. Yeah, need to flip her over. Yeah, see that? Okay, so we need to get this guy up. So let's put it just kind of sideways. That's probably the ticket. Okay. Resume. Just in is all we need. There we go. Okay, I wanted to start the video again because this one kind of stopped on me. So I flipped the engine around and checked that the rod is not hitting on anything as it's going in. Got free play there, so what I did was take the compressor off, swip it around so I can get to the thing, and give it a tighten, and hopefully we'll go in. There we go. Nice and easy. Yeah. Okay, so I'm kind of at a stopping point now. Pistons are all in there, and we can flip it over, and I'll show you. So now our connecting rods coming out of the bottom are here, and what those will do is join up to these guys once they have a bearing that's placed inside, right? It's gonna have a bearing here, and then the cap will go over that guy and bearing on both sides. But I bought the wrong bearings, so we're at a stopping point. Gotta get the oil pump figured out and get the right bearings. I must have bought the diesel ones. I only got 3, so that there's a 3-cylinder diesel, and I bought the wrong ones. So we'll come back another day when I got things figured out to the next step. Alright, I thought we'd go one step further here today. I was considering whether this needs to go to the machine shop to be pressed in, but I have this out of this kit here, bushing press kit. So I don't know, let's see how bad I can mess this up. This is the timing cover, and this seals to the front of the crank, I think. Yeah, because the cam sprocket goes here. And we can see some bad wear here. That's another indication that the crank came forward. So, not sure what to do with that. It's rough edge, you know what I'm saying? But, I think this is the whole thing, so I'm just going to be able to pound it out. Let's see what I break. Don't want to break the timing cover. That's the goal. Do not break the timing cover itself. That's the best way to get support here. Maybe like that. Okay. I'm just on the inner lip of that. And let's see how she goes. Kind of like the dead blow for this, but let's see what happens. There it's going. Ah, there we go. That's the way it's supposed to go. Yeah, I didn't break anything. Now, do I want to risk pushing this in myself here? It goes all the way flush to this edge. So it'd be putting it this way and trying to pound it in like that. Boy, I don't like these large diameter things. Just too much play. So I think I'll take this to the machine shop and just talk about it at least. And I wasn't sure. This seems the way it was in there. This was outside. This was inside. And you see it's like the chamfer, the angle there kind of goes outward. So it's telling me to put it in like this to do the same thing. And yeah, maybe. Okay. Okay. I'm going to try it. The open side out. I lubed it up and I cleaned up the angry edge on the inside. So here we go. Shit. There it goes. Hey, we're in. Now I gotta put my hand around and feel as it comes toward. Get it back to flush. Okay. Get in there. Uh-oh. Oh, it's crooked. Why did it have to get crooked? You can see it. It's crooked. Damn it. There, okay. Jesus. Now, okay. That's pretty even. Down a little bit further here. Almost. There we go. Okay. Let's look at the other side. I mean, that's pretty dang good. It's not perfect. How much do I play with it? How much do I mess with it? I would love to have this side in a little bit more. Oh! She moved a lot. Oh, that's not going to work. See that? Yeah. Huh. That'll just leak. Timing over leak. What a bummer. What can I do about that? Like, put thread locker in there. Yeah, I could do that. Because it's still pretty much, I mean, it's just so close.